I would like to speak of enlovement. Not necessarily the concept of falling in love with someone, although that's a wonderful sensation. But I would like to talk about the space that's created, the cosmology of two, shaped like a heart. You see, when you connect with somebody, what emerges is a kind of entrainment. Through the act of mirroring each other, you cohere an intersubjective universe, right? It's literally a world inhabited by two people. And that world is impregnated in real time by a narrative, by the story that we tell ourselves about ourselves, right? And we document that story on social media, and we take pictures, vintage sepia-toned photographs to impregnate the narrative with poignancy and wistfulness. And immediately we cohere narratives where love prevails above it all, where nothing's gonna stop us now. Together we will live forever, we swear to each other. We stare at the iris, we stare at our own reflection in our lover's eyes, and we are reassured. We push away all thoughts of death, and we become infinite. Alan Harrington famously wrote in The Immortalist, "When in love, we step off the people mover, carrying everyone else towards death, and instead, we become gods outside of time, commingling with one another inside of eternity." Cameron Crowe, the filmmaker, famously talks about the happy sad, something he so artfully captures in his cinema. Moments of such sublime beauty and enlovement between two people. It's like being inside a pop song and living there forever. At the end of Vanilla Sky, he said, "You sculpted your lucid dream out of the iconography of your youth. A movie you watched late at night that showed you what love could be like. An album cover that once moved you. We cohere our narratives based on the cultural impressions of our youth. We live inside of a waking dream. We are the choreographers of our own love stories, our lives, our theater, and we willingly metabolize belief. We invest ourselves in our fictions until they bleed over into the real." Reductionists tell us that infatuation and romantic love are biochemically no different than cocaine. My friends, consciousness itself is mediated by biochemistry. To dismiss romantic love as a spike in dopamine is to dismiss our entire self as a cocktail between serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine, cortisol, whatever the fuck you want to call it. The point is, what emerges rises above its building blocks, right? We exceed our materials. Roland Barthes talks about that moment when you see your beloved. The curtain parts and what had never been seen is devoured by the eyes. It's distinct, abrupt, framed. It is already a memory. The purpose of a photograph is to memorialize and to eternalize. And when we have that dance with our beloved, we become fulfilled. Fulfillment literally means we exceed totality. All of our desires are abolished by the plenitude of their satisfaction. And so we spill over. And why is love tinged with sadness then? Why do we look upon the photographs of those we love and feel a knot in our stomach? Is it a faint disquiet from the awareness that nothing lasts forever? Or does it come from realizing again that even though we were unstuck in time with that person, living in eternity, that eternity was nonetheless bounded by mortality on both ends? I refuse to succumb to that defeatist nihilism. I refuse to give up on love. No amount of hurt can ever make me renunciate my need for salvation and my willingness to believe that we can engender salvation in the arms of another. If love is poetry, then let us embrace the poet within us, the brave, reckless gods within us all. Miguel de Unamuno wrote in Tragic Sense of Life, eternity, eternity, that is the supreme desire. Nothing is real that is not eternal. And with that, we have to find the strength to prevail.